Hello. As you can see, my name is Jahari Brown. I am a Seminole State student at the community college, here to speak about addiction, how it affects the body, the mind, and how it can also drive someone to commit a crime or a series of crimes due to the addiction. Um, what it first does is on the body, it gives you lung damage, heart disease. It could lead to liver failure and could lead to also kidney failure. I'm gonna go in depth with all of these, but for the brain, it can give anxiety, depression, paranoia, and it could also screw up the structure of which your brain, in which your brain thinks and lets out your thoughts and stuff. It has to do with mixing it up and confusing yourself due to the addiction because you're wanting more of that along with your regular thoughts throughout life. I'm going to start with the body. Um, First is kidney failure. What happens is the drug, obviously, more common for crystal meth, heroin, and similar others that give you that weird energy feel. The toxins are filtered out by our kidney, but it's only supposed to filter out so much daily. And for a addiction, they're gonna continue to use the drugs. Therefore, your kidney, the more it filters and the more it has to work, the more wear and tear basically you're doing on it, and it eventually leads to kidney failure, which is not uncommon at all. Next is liver failure. Liver failure is a lot to alcoholics. The liver, much like the kidney, filters out the toxins more or less Vicodin and Oxycontin that also do damage, but alcohol is one of the main things that cause damage. And much like the kidney, the more wear and tear to put it on it, the more it's going to just go away and wear away. Heart disease and failure. Stimulant drugs, much like cocaine, once again, heroin and other cause serious damage to the heart. It can't breathe properly. It's not even sure how you're sustaining and stuff like that, and it just does damage. It's all through your blood system, and it runs throughout your body much normal like blood, but it's flowing like blood, and that's not good for a body. A human body wasn't made to sustain so many negative toxins, and much like the other two, that's why it poisons and leads to either failure or a heart disease. Lung damage comes for those who smoke. The smoke is in their lungs, it stays in there, it rips them, it tears the tissue around them, and just makes you feel claustrophobic, harder breathing, and it just makes it harder to continue to even talk, let alone continue your normal day without like coughing or not breathing, wheezing, and much like others. Now I'm going to go on to the mind part, and this also relates with why people will commit crimes. First is anxiety. Everybody knows anxiety is like the feeling of either like people are talking about you, or it's just like you feel either good, you feel like not good per se, but unpleasant, like people are like staring at you, and you'll get real shaky and feel like people are doubting you or whatever. And with on the drug, you get this same, as explained in the book, you get the same feeling of just doubt, just failure and stuff like that, and it tricks your mind basically. Depression is self-explanatory. You just feel sad, alone, zeroed out, just all feelings of just emptiness per se. And paranoia, one of the bigger ones, where you're shaky, you can't sit still, you feel like a bunch of stuff is going around, and it just gets the addicted person like always looking around for stuff to do, always like can't sit still and stuff like that. This deals with the crime because those who are addicted, tend to want the drug more, obviously. So what they'll do is either they'll fight, they'll steal, they'll rob, and they'll spend all their money on the drug. Once they run out of money, they have nothing left on it, but they still want the drug. So it commits to stealing, breaking into stores for the drug, or like robbing people, or even worse, stealing from just whoever whoever they can do it. That's like the crime. There also could be even murder on a person because that person may be their dealer, or it could be the person who introduced it. Anything with dealing with an addiction is very dangerous. Personally, I feel that an addiction also leads to a crime because an addiction is uncontrollable. You're not completely yourself, therefore your thought process is shaken up, the way you're acting is weird, and every other factor that is being put into play is just not connecting together. Your thoughts are not completely full, and you're not even fluent with sentence structure and stuff like that. You're skipping lines, you're hesitating, and you're just shooken up. So this leads to a crime because you're not even sure like how you're supposed to be regularly living now. And once again, like I explained before, this leads to a crime if you're out of money and you can't buy that drug again. And if you're addicted, that's something you need, because when it also deals with the mind, you get a withdrawal where you're shaking, you're scratching, you just need to feel that the feeling of the drug again. And people seem like they need it, so they'll do almost anything to get it. I've been talking about, once again, how addiction affects the mind, the body, and how it drives a person to commit a crime. Thank you for watching, and this is for the assignment in my drugs, society, and criminal justice class.